think as we look at our economy and cow-calf production and particularly the value of calves, I think once in a while we sort of get lulled into the idea that because calves are more valuable, that crossbreeding is less important. But the reality is that when prices are high, and particularly when input costs are high, the value of heterosis is really important to profitability at the cow-calf level. And so one of the things I encourage our producers to think about is what are the trade-offs between straight breeding and crossbreeding, and really get a good idea of what those economic values mean to their operation particularly, to make an informed decision. As we look at different crossbreeding systems, typical sort of F1 cow or crossbred cow mated to a third breed bull produces somewhere in the range of maybe 23 to upwards of 40% improvement in weaning weight per cow exposed. The low end estimate represents the benefit of heterosis in good environments, and so we kind of view that as the conservative estimate. But the reality is the harsher our environment is in terms of either insect load, temperature, forage availability, however you want to classify stress, the more benefit you get from heterosis. That benefit of heterosis from a Bos taurus or typical British or continental breed with an Indicus breed is about 3 times what a British breed to British breed or British to continental is. So those environments that are really stressful, where we routinely see some Bos Indicus breeding, benefit a lot from that heterosis. That 23% improvement in weaning weight per cow exposed in today's math roughly translates into somewhere around $150 per cow per year benefit due to crossbreeding. It doesn't account for the benefits of making smart breeding decisions in terms of the genetic merit of the individual animals that go into it. Certainly we encourage people to use EPDs and appropriate selection tools to adapt performance to their environment. That's just the heterosis bit. So if we do a good job picking bulls, maybe the terminal sire bulls that we're going to use, we can add on top of that value. If you look at calf data from CattleFacts, typically suggests that $150 would move you from the bottom 25% of producers for productivity, or profitability rather, to the top 25% of producers for profitability. And that's a huge move. And there's really no one specific system that works perfectly for everybody. There's systems that work well for small producers. There's systems that work very well for big producers. And one of the things that I like to encourage people to think about is using hybrid bulls. Those systems are as effective, are effective tools in capturing heterosis, capture about half the heterosis of a maximal F1 terminal sire system, but they do it in a way that is just as easy as straight breeding, right? We turn out the bull with the cows, 90 days later we pick him up, our crossbreeding system's done because we've purchased genetics that combine those breed combinations that we want right up front. So I think as we look forward to the next 5 or 10 years in the beef business, there's going to be some interesting things happen. One of the things I think will be important though is that producers become more efficient. Fuel prices are likely not to go down a lot. We've seen a little moderation in corn, but we can pretty well expect all input costs to continue to become more expensive. That means we need to continue to be more efficient in the way we use those resources and capture profit in our system.